Wait.
Warren and Dennis, there's right there for you.
Okay, Brent?
Good morning, everyone. All right. So, as you can tell by outside, the heating season is upon us. We have the boilers up and running. Just so everybody's aware, they're not running constantly because we have them on outside air lockouts. So that means when the outside temperature gets above 45 degrees, at this point in time, the boilers will shut off just so we don't overheat the buildings in the event that we get a warm day mixed in with a cold day. So we are ready to go from that point of view. Preparations for snow season are going on with the maintenance department and with North Shore Paving. We are getting our equipment ready and our ice melt to the schools as we need it and make sure that we're ready for the first snowfall. North Shore will be mobilizing all of their equipment here on campus the first week of November. I'd like to just advise everybody that on the board agenda for this Thursday meeting, there will be an item to reapprove the contract for North Shore. There is an additional cost added to the existing contract that was approved back in April due to the additional cost for the new parking lot at Riverview. So that's the reason why you'll see the agenda having that item on there and why there's a difference in cost, and that's the Riverview parking lot. On 1010.
But all schools are on it, though.
Yes, that is
So
correct.
it's a contract for all schools.
We had roof repairs on 1010. We were kind of busy. We did not have school that day. Was it NEOEA day? We did roof leaks over at Buckeye, Riverview, and Parkside. On the 10th as well, I had Southeast Security in the high school in John R. We were working on some of our audible devices that were not sounding loud enough. So we made sure that those corrections were made and up and running, and they were tested. On the 10th as well, we had GPS Fire, Gene Patasic Fire Systems out to replace the high pressure discharge hose to our halon system that is in our chemistry storage lab on the second floor of the high school. So that has been changed out and that is ready to go. The old one had reached its lifespan. They are all stamped with date of install, and we had reached that point, so we went ahead and made everything compliant. We also had on the 10th, we had the condensate pumps for the high school steam boilers were serviced. We do that every year to make sure that we are pulling back as much condensate from the steam lines as possible to try to stop as much hammering that you hear in the classrooms and the offices and stuff throughout the buildings as possible here at the high school. We did find one that was overly corroded on the inside, and we found some smaller pieces as well, some flow switches and contactors that needed to be changed. So that's all in the process of being serviced and repaired and replaced. So we are good to go on that end. Lake County Health Department will come out and do its annual fall inspection of all of our schools on November 4th. We will start here at campus, work our way around campus, and then go to all of the other schools throughout the day. We should finish up that day at Parkside later in the afternoon. I look forward to hanging out with them for the day. I'm going to skip the next one, and I'll go to the other one because the other one, the Riverview Parkside, is a big item. We did find another leak, unfortunately, in the football field at the water box on the visitor side. If you remember, a couple years ago, we had a hole that created in the turf where the underlying sand and stone around the water box washed away because of a water leak. Well, we have another line that's leaking somewhere between the valve underneath the visitor stands, asphalt, and to the field. I am not going to tear up our 2-year-old track at this point in time, so we will be shutting down the water indefinitely to the football field and to the practice fields. I have advised our athletic director and our coaches of the situation. Internally, we are looking at other options. Maybe we could push something or a line.
What is that water used for?
We have 2 water spigots on each side of the sidelines that they connect to, so they have water there for water jugs and water wagons. And then the water also goes up to the grass field behind the home stands. There is a water spigot there that they use for a watering device over the summer to keep the kids cool. in the hot days during practice. My guess is if we don't come up with some sort of easy fix, easy meaning we're not tearing up our track, we will keep that off until turf replacement happens down the road, and then we can reevaluate, because I do not want to try to push water lines underneath that playing surface for fear of hitting a drain pipe and causing even more issues, and I do not want to come to work one day and see a giant sinkhole where the beaver used to be.
Yeah. Is there a way to run water from the field house?
We could run a hose.
Okay. Not there, so there is a way.
Yeah.
As long as it's above freezing.
Well, they're only out there in the summer. I mean,
Okay.
it'd be a temporary seasonal fix, but.
Okay, we know, we've been talking about Parkside Riverview boilers. Please bear with me. A lot of this information came to me 14 hours ago, so there's been a lot of scrambling and moving of parts. I'm going to do my best to explain this to everybody. So as we've been talking, we've had issues with our heat exchangers going back to 2022. We have 2 more heat exchangers down. We have one at Parkside and one at Riverview. We've also had a discussion about companies dropping the ball as far as warranties go for heat exchangers that went bad. The district has already paid tens of thousands of dollars for repairs. We are currently pursuing other potential legal options against said companies. In the meantime, I've had conversations with Roberts Mechanical, who is the distributor of RBI, who was also warned that there could be potential issues coming their way if they do not give us answers and have remedies for the school district for our boilers, specifically at Parkside and Riverview. We did finally get a heat exchanger sent out. It did get investigated by the mothership, which is Mestech for RBI up in Canada. Basically, the report comes back with there is nothing definitive to state what caused the issues. So what that means to us is that it's nothing specifically tying the district to causing these things to fail. There has been a lot of discussion with myself, amongst my staff, and with several other HVAC vendors, and the consensus seems to be that the current boilers we have are not ideal for the current situation that they are in. And that could be leading to some of the problems we're having with the heat exchangers, which we are now up to 4 that have cracked and failed. So we have several options. Roberts reached out to me today under the on guidelines of their mother company, Mestech. They have offered us 2 options for our current heating situations at Parkside and Riverview. We could accept a greatly discounted price for 2 new heat exchangers for just the parts. They're $21,850 each, with a grand total of $43,700 for 2 heat exchangers. That does not include the $9,800 labor for GEM to come in, open up the boilers, take out the old, install the new, fire the boilers back up, and confirm operation. We also had a number thrown at me yesterday from Roberts Mechanical. They are, now mind you, their original cost of $21,000 last month for heat exchangers, their cost was $34,500. So they've come down. Basically, I think what Roberts is doing is they're admitting guilt by not saying they're not guilty with coming back with these options. The other option is they are offering 4 new RBI boilers, but these are water tube boilers. What we currently have are fire tube boilers. They are offering the total cost of 4 new boilers. These are just the boilers of $129,000. That's $32,250 each. They are discounting the district $23,700. Now, with that being said, GEM in the last 14 hours has put together a cost per the specs that was sent to them by Roberts to install new boilers. Their maximum cost of labor is $84,000. That includes 4 new double-walled stainless steel flues to our boilers. It includes water lines being reduced from 3 inches to 2.5 inches, new gas lines run. It also includes the installation of, which is not currently sitting in the schools, is a new Spirotherm air and dirt separator with auto blowdown on the main loop, removing the existing 2 80-gallon expansion tanks and installing a new 210-gallon expansion tank. Also included in the labor is connecting the control systems to our boilers. And we also have a understanding with myself and Jem, and it has been relayed to Roberts, that they will be responsible once the boilers, if we went this route, once the boilers were installed, they would have to come in, they have to fire the boilers, they have to confirm operation of the boilers, and they have to sign off that they are confirming the operation of the boilers and that the installation is correct.
This is Roberts signing off?
This is Roberts. What this does is it protects the district if we went this route, that if anything failed, Roberts Mechanical cannot come back and say, well, you didn't do this, this, or this, because we will have paperwork that says, yes, you did, because here's your signature. So all told, the district is looking at, and I knew I was going to lose it, I believe it's anywhere from $64,000 for 2 heat exchangers, up to $274,000 for 4 new boilers in our schools. I was told by Louis Roberts of Roberts Mechanical on the phone yesterday that the current boilers that we do have are no longer being manufactured, and within 5 to 10 years, the parts will be obsolete. And with that happening, heat exchangers cost will go up. My concern with changing out heat exchangers, which is a less expense to the district, is that if we keep popping heat exchangers, because we do not know, and nobody will say, and nobody knows, why they're failing, I would predict that we're still going to have heat exchangers failing in the future. So I bring it to this committee to discuss what options we'd like to move forward with. The plan would be, if we did change out the boilers, I would give the verbal on Friday if it was approved by the board on Thursday night to move forward. I would sign the contracts to move forward, and then we would get them purchase orders. It's 2 weeks to get boilers, and the plan would be get the boilers on site, shut down. We already have 1 boiler at each school shut down. Those would get removed, the piping would be done, we would place the new boilers, get those up and running before we shut down the current running boilers, so we can get ourselves with heat in the school and not interrupt our school days. Yes, it'll be sleepless nights, yes, it'll be a little bit of fingernail biting, but that is an option we have.
So the original boilers, they're saying that nobody can figure out why they went bad. Were they maybe not sized correctly or something, they're overworking, or?
I spoke with Osborne Engineering out of Akron. They were the ones who oversaw the Parkside Riverview job. And I spoke to the gentleman who oversaw that job. And the consensus is potentially that the modulating fire tube boilers are not conducive to the type of demand that these schools are putting on the boilers. They're not designed to modulate the way that a water tube boiler would modulate.
So just quick, difference between fire tube and water.
Okay, so fire tube is, you have, I want to get this right. So a fire tube is you have tubes that are surrounded by water. So you have your heat exchanger is heating, and outside of the heat exchanger are your tubes of water that are circulating around before they go back out to heat the school. A water tube system is you actually have the tubes are in the boiler itself, and the gas or the flames are around that, heating it as it's traveling through the boiler. So one is direct, one is indirect, and they feel the water, and actually your water tubes are more conducive to the demand of modulating that we have in our schools than a fire tube system. For example, Lamoot's new boilers, those are water tube. Buckeyes, those are water tube boilers. John R. is a water tube boiler system. High school steam, so that's neither here nor there.
So the water tube essentially is a better, more
It's-
efficient
that
route?
is- It's more efficient route, yes it is.
So it was never spec'd originally in the first place to
Well,
maybe fit?
That's a good possibility, Dennis, because in the original plans, there were 5 boilers spec'd out as acceptable in the project. And that was Lochinvar, Camus, Airco, RBI, and Train. And RBI went in. Now, the question that I can't get answered is, very similar to your question, should we have had water tube boilers in there? Or should we have the fire tube boilers? And nobody will answer that question. And I seriously, I'm going back to what I said earlier. I think guilt is being admitted without saying, yeah, we screwed up. My conversation with Louis Roberts from Roberts Mechanical yesterday was, you got a sense that they knew something was up and they're trying to make good on this without having an attorney knock on their door and hand them a letter that says, we're now suing you for everything you had. So I leave it to this committee to decide what we want to do.
I think we might have to talk with Dan. Dan, isn't there already a lawsuit or a letter that's been written?
No, it has not been written yet. We're working on
Because
it.
in our last meeting, that was supposed to be done, I thought.
Yes, I have not.
He's working on it, he hasn't finished,
Dan is working on it?
to my understanding, but that was also in exec session, so we should probably keep it to that point.
Okay, so, Dennis, what I think that this goes back to is the architect and the owner's rep. Of course, there was no owner's rep hired, so there was no one to oversee from the architect to delivery to construction. And so it looks like we have equipment that wasn't appropriate for the new buildings that was installed, and now we're dealing with it.
Right.
We have to pay for it, literally pay through the nose now for it. So, I mean, I agree, it makes no sense to keep putting in things that are just gonna break again. How long are the heat exchangers lasting till they crack?
2 years.
So
We have documentation of 2 years.
So we'll be buying 2 years for $63,000. Or we'll be paying $270,000.
It'll be more than that, because we have a discount on these now, so you're looking at more, plus when they take them offline,
Yeah,
then.
it'll be more later, you know, it's a static number today, of course, it'll be more.
And we
later.
currently have 2 boilers that are operational, one at each school.
Yeah.
So we don't know the status of those heat exchangers.
Right, so it could go at any time.
That is correct.
So, so what do you do?
What's the life of a new furnace? If we got a
A
replacement?
boiler?
New boiler.
You should get 25, 30 years.
You would think, so. You know, at this point, you keep putting money into it until you can't anymore, and then you have to replace it. Or you go ahead and replace it now. It's a big bite.
That's the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to, you know, kick the can down the road, pay? If we do that, we're in aggregate, we're going to pay more.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, if we're looking at buying time, it's expensive to buy the time, so. And then there's moving parts. You've got a company that did the wrong thing that's still involved in the process. I wouldn't want them anywhere near involved in the process, would you?
No.
No, and that is why I have discussed with John that we would essentially buy the boilers from Roberts, but we are also we are making them sign off on documentation that's going to hold up that says, you are agreeing that this installation is correct, the operation is correct. We have met all the requirements you required for this installation. So therefore, if something happens down the road, we are ironclad.
Or if they disappear, we're back
Correct.
to where we started.
Right.
So, or in a lawsuit that takes 2 years.
Or you go to Mestec, which happens to be their mother company in Canada, which they're the ones who sent this down
Right.
to them.
That's the other thing, we're dealing outside the country. So, so what you're saying, the advantage of going with Roberts is we'd be buying equipment that we could buy anywhere, except it would be through them at a lower price.
Correct. There is also a RBI distributor in the western part of Ohio, near the Toledo area. So you don't, in the future, if you had to, you don't have to go through Roberts. But the course we're trying to take is making sure that Roberts is admitting that everything was 100% ironclad the way they wanted it. Therefore, if it does failure in the future, it's not on me, it's not on the district, and it's not on Jen.
Is that the reason to replace all those expansion tanks and all that other stuff?
Yes.
Because that seems like a lot of minutia that.
And that's part of why the labor is as expensive as it is because a lot of the additional items outside of just a boiler was thrown into whoever's doing the labor to add those parts to it. So basically, Roberts is saying, here's a boiler, we're discounting it for you, but you have to make sure that you get all these pieces and parts and you add it to the installation, which is going to drive up your labor. I spoke with Jem this morning at 6:30, their project manager, and he feels strongly that he can get the price down. He also, I don't remember what he called it, I didn't write it down, I apologize. But he said if the cost for installation were to say come in at $50,000, we're getting charged $50,000. We're not going to get charged the $83,000 that the proposal says. Again, this was whipped together in 14 hours. I also asked if we could cut some of the expenses by having 2 of our maintenance or 3 or 4 of our maintenance guys assist in this project, because I think it would be good to have our hands on it physically to see as it's going in. He said we could do that as well, which would also help deduct some of the cost as well. So there are ways for us to save. I just can't say what that saving is going to be on the labor side of things.
So we would be purchasing the same brand of boiler?
Same brand, different style.
Right, and so that's a concern for me too, because if the brand is having problems,
Is there a history on this water too?
From what we looked up as quickly as we could this morning after I saw the quotes and the proposals was there is a good rating out there for the water-fired water tube boilers.
specifically RBI.
Correct, yes. We were looking at this make and model to see what it was at.
I suppose if you look outside of RBI, are there any other alternatives that could be come in, or due to not having a discount, that would be?
I think we would lose the discount, we'd be looking at the cost of one being the cost of all 4.
Right.
I think they're coming in significantly lower than to remedy the issue, and I think the max is there. I think we still can work with Dan to encourage them to provide more discounts, but it's also October 21st, and we're gonna need heat.
So we're kind of in a box.
We are definitely in a box.
Now, with these issues of the heat exchangers, that has pulled a lot of your personnel time to concentrate on those
Yeah.
issues, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, we're babysitting the boilers. And we have telltale signs. If we start to see ignition failures, when we start to see water, that's telling us that something is spraying out of the heat exchanger, causing the water to hit the ignition system, causing the boiler not to fire. That's our telltale sign that we've seen in the 4 heat exchangers that we currently have down. Or the 4 that have gone down.
Okay, while you're all contemplating this, could you look out that window at the beautiful rainbow that's literally happening?
Oh, my goodness.
Look how bright it is. And
I
it
can't
is-
see anything.
Oh, well, you should get up, because it's worth a look. It's one of the brightest ones I've ever seen. Sorry. I've been sitting here watching. It
straight
is
down.
absolute, oh, it must be pouring over the lake.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Sorry, I almost poked you guys because you're the closest to me. It's so pretty, sorry.
lighten up the
Lighten up.
conversation.
I know, I was like, okay, we need just a
So-
moment, let's come back
There's a
here.
bright side.
Oh.
Is there a pot of gold there?
I know, possibly,
You
let's
want me to
face
chase
it,
it?
yeah. You go. I'll see.
Well, look at the trees.
I know, it just, it's a really, I've been watching
That
it.
means it's gonna be cold.
It must be pouring out over the lake though, if the rainbow
I heard
is
the
that
I heard
low.
out west it's absolutely monsooning right now.
Oh, is it really?
It's supposed to come through here anytime.
Shortly, okay. That's very pretty.
And to add on to what I've been talking about, Louis from Roberts stated on the phone yesterday that these new boilers, the water tube boilers, could handle a harsher atmosphere, harsher situation than what the current boilers are. So again, that takes me back to what I've said earlier. I truly believe that there was something that, I don't think the boilers we currently have in our schools are the ones for the application that we're using it at. And they know this, and this is why we're getting the discount, and this is why they're recommending going to a water tube instead of
So that goes back to the original design and spec.
it very well could be, or it could have been lost in translation.
No checks and balances and they, from the architect all the way through.
No, I know when those were built, the state oversaw a lot of that. In their other projects, did they have the fire tubes that you're aware of? Or
That I
know
do not
anything?
know. I do know from the prints, I do have the as-bills. The prints did show that Lochinvar boilers were going in. That doesn't mean that the RBI was the wrong boiler, it just means that because there was 5 options, this was probably a cheaper cost in the whole scheme of the project. And because it was one of the 5 that were approved,
They went with that.
they went with that.
And are you saying the state had approved it?
And no, I'm saying that that was in, just kind of like our.
The architect specs and
Right, our projects right now, we spec'd out, you know, for our equipment here, we had Train, we had Camus, we had Airco, we had Lochinvar, and they're accepted.
Right.
That's what the engineer is saying,
Yeah.
we will accept. That doesn't mean that what they put in was conducive to what maybe the Lochinvar was. I haven't seen.
They may
those.
not have been equals.
That is correct,
Right. Or applicable for
for the application.
the
that is true, yes.
application.
Which you're not gonna find, nobody's going to admit to that.
Right.
Yeah, you can't go back that far now anyway, right? So, yeah, it's obviously frustrating. It's like throwing money away.
Well, I can tell you that we spent $18,000 for the heat exchanger that went down in '22. I believe we spent, and I don't wanna speak out of turn, but I think it was $35,000 for the second heat exchanger went down. So now you're at roughly 50-51. We're looking at another, if you just go the heat exchanger route, you're looking at another, what did I say, 64?
63.
So now you're up to what, 115,000?
115, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we have to, and that's deeply discounted, so if we had to go with the original proposal from Roberts and John for the heat exchangers, it was $84,000, which is a $20,000 difference. Now you're almost up to $160,000, and if we've got to pay another, let's just hypothetically say we get a heat exchanger go down in 12 months. We're now looking at what, another $45,000, $50,000?
Yeah, you're into $500,000 by the time you're finished.
Correct. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that these new boilers are gonna be the end-all be-all, but I think they're a better option financially for the district and a better start to moving forward with holding somebody's feet to the fire.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at 30-year programs, if you will, to me, 30 years kind of short on a new building, a new boiler. I would hope they would last 50. But if you're looking at 30 years, or you're just looking at continuing, to bleed out, obviously.
Well, we
you
can't
wanna-
bleed out.
You don't want to bleed out.
No.
You want to fix it. So it's just another thing that needs fixed, so we have to fix it.
And you look at, you amortize it over the life of the project or the life of the unit. you know, it's only so much a year, it's less than maintenance on a year.
Well, I mean, you're 10,000 a year, if you look at it that way.
So,
So is there a 30-year payment program, $10,000 a year?
Interest is a killer on those.
No,
Well,
it's
yeah,
interest free.
There's no interest free on those, I don't think. I think for me, the real concern is that the boilers we currently have are going to be taken offline in 5 years, 5 to 10 years too, which is a concern. So we
Yeah.
should, I mean, to me, why would we spend more, $63,000 to replace parts, knowing that they have an average lifespan of 2 years? And then we're gonna put another, and that the price is only gonna go up as soon as, and we're looking at this, we're 5 years down the road. I would almost hate to say like we need to bite the bullet.
Right, I mean, you're
And
headed into a brick wall.
We never win when we do that, but I
No,
think that's.
that doesn't
And I think we work as well with the companies and through Dan to say, we know what the max is, but to see if we can continue to convince them to bring that price down a little bit.
don't we spend that much on curriculum?
Yes.
Well, yeah, but we are in the learning business, Mr. Keeney, that's something we need to.
Learning schmurning. We need to be warm.
So how big of a company is Roberts? Are they a $100 million company? I mean, what are they?
That, Scott, I do not know.
Because that's part of the equation here. If they just disappear, whatever they write is meaningless. So if they're gonna guarantee something and they're gone, that's a concern too.
Well, that would go to Mestec, their mother company.
I think as the certified installer, if they come out and say this is certified, like that guarantees at least the installation was correct. And we can work through the installation process. Ultimately, either way, if this happens again, we're probably looking at litigation as well. So whatever you have written down is worth the paper it's written on. We can
Exactly.
get attorneys involved.
So they're a subsidiary, you're saying, Roberts? is?
They are a certified installer for RBI. And Mestec has, I just looked them up real quick, there's about a dozen different heating companies they have underneath them. So they are a very large company. It looks like they're just buying up all of these.
So have we talked with Mestec at all?
I have not
I
time.
have not. Again, I got hit with this information
Yeah.
at 1 o'clock yesterday, and I was scrambling to get, because what I do not want to do is I do not want to wait to maybe call an emergency board meeting or wait till November, because then we're to the point of no return.
We need to have a board meeting, we'll have a board meeting. Would you be able to reach out to Mestec to see what they say?
What would you like me to ask them?
Is this the best option?
Okay.
Okay, because they're the parent company. Who knows what they'll say? They might say, we trust Roberts 100%, whatever they say, we say. They might say, yeah, we think we might know something they haven't said, so maybe you want to maybe use this product instead. And we can help you because of the situation with the same cost. I mean, we don't know what they're going to say. It's worth a phone call.
I'll work on it.
And if the board needs to meet because we need to act on something, we'll meet. That's not a problem.
Just make sure you get all the ducks in a row for that proposal.
Do we need an architect to work on it too?
At this point, everything's already designed, right? All the engineering's done.
It's a refabrication of water lines, flue lines, and gas lines.
So. Okay.
Do we want to put this on a not to exceed for the board so we can move forward, or do we want to wait?
I would wait, because we can have a special meeting at any time that we need one. We can just call a meeting and approve something.
So what would it take, a week maybe to get all this together? 2 weeks?
It takes 2 weeks to get the boilers from the day we say we're doing it.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously, we have one boiler working in each building and one boiler not working in each building, so you never know what's gonna happen, but the expectation that Rich just said is that the boilers that are working, the expectation is they should go another year. Okay, they could break down at any time, because we don't know, But making a move too quick without all the information might also cost us money.
At Parkside, we had a heat exchanger go down in '23, was replaced in 22 was replaced in '23, because it went down in November of '23, replaced it in January of '24. That heat exchanger is now down. So we're almost to 26, so a year and a half.
Yeah, so we're gonna do something, and it's probably gonna be everything that we're talking about, but maybe, just maybe, it's worth a phone call, a little communication, a little more communication, see if the parent company is willing to, or able to
Okay.
do something.
All right. So outside of that, Riverview and CTE are moving forward.
Right. We just did a little update, they did a little update video with Dennis and myself, just, hey, Riverside Local School District, here's what's going on. So Nick's gonna be putting that out later today or tomorrow, right? So, and then we'll just continue, we could just continue, whatever, another month or so, do another one. We should be getting close in another month, and everything will be inside at that
We should
point.
be inside, yeah, we're supposed to be closer.
Yeah. So,
Do we know when the windows or glass are coming in?
It's already supposed to be in, as far as I understand from the Thursday meetings, but I would think by the end of the month, they're definitely going to be dried in.
Just another update, I did meet with the Alumni Association last night, and they went ahead and donated $3,000 for the scoreboard, for softball scoreboard. That'll be on Thursday's agenda as well.
okay, so that's two different items. You're talking the scoreboard, which scoreboard?
The softball scoreboard.
The softball scoreboard.
That was already on.
Yeah, we already
Last
approved the
month.
softball
Right.
scoreboard, the Alumni Association, we had some preliminary, they just wanted to see what it was gonna look like and all that, so I met with them last night at their next meeting, and they went ahead and approved that donation, so.
Oh, good, right? Moving forward. When would that be installed?
We are working on it soon. I believe we need to run power out to where it's gonna be.
I got an update last night saying they were 4 to 6 weeks out from delivering. I think that's what it says. And then when it's almost ready to be delivered, the installers will come out and do some preliminary work. And I know they had some electric questions.
I
for you.
responded to their email this morning with
Okay.
questions.
I was running a little late.
If we get the information from them, we can run what needs to be run and have it waiting for them long before, as long as we can decide where we want them to put it.
So basically, it'll be before Christmas.
Before the season, that's it.
Yeah.
So depending.
Weather dependent.
Well,
Yeah, depending
And
on
if we get another
when it's-
4-foot snowstorm after Thanksgiving,
Right.
we're not.
Right.
But we're
Right.
we're shooting for the season opener.
All right. Anything else?
I do have one other, we had talked about vehicles at one point. It came to my attention just the other day, which I didn't have a chance to touch base with you. We have 2 trailers that typically we go out when we go on the roads for games that are towed by vehicles. We're only taking one now because we don't have the vehicle to tow the second one. I think at some point we need to look at improving our maintenance vehicle fleet and what that looks like.
So you had mentioned vehicles
Down
in
the
the
road.
past, and it kind of got dropped at some
We
point.
kind of did drop it. I just want to bring it back up to this committee's attention that we
Okay,
should.
so what kind of vehicle
Look
are
to
we
address.
looking at?
This would be another 350 pickup truck.
What other use would that have?
As a maintenance vehicle, we can put it, we have the one for the bus garage now that currently goes out and services the buses, as well as just general maintenance. And we could put a plow on it if we so needed, a plow to plow areas as well. I know the bus one have a plow on it?
Yes.
Yes.
So we would use it also to plow?
We would use it to plow the drive to our sanitary plants. We would use it to plow, I know the bus garage can use it to open up some of their bus parking areas, specifically the Historical Society.
Do we have a plow, or would we need to buy a plow for it?
The current truck that the bus garage is using to haul the one trailer is actually a maintenance truck that does have a plow. And we give it to them for the football season, so they have a safe vehicle to tow. But, you know, as we talked months ago, we do have an aging fleet.
Yeah.
We do have a Frankenstein-looking box truck that, you know, we
Oh,
have.
that's kind of a classic.
It is a classic.
Yes.
We can put it out on the lawn somewhere and the kids can paint it once we retire it. But,
Like the trestle, it could be the new trestle.
But we do have an aging fleet and, you know, yes, we did look into it, but again, it comes down to dollars and cents.
Right, so what we're looking at was, do you get new or do you get used? And how long will it last? Well, and how long it'll last, since there's not that many miles put on it, it should last a long time.
Now, are they gonna be pulling trailers over the winter?
If we have a band concert or if we go deep into the high school playoffs, yes. I mean, if we go to the state championship, we're looking to the week before Christmas.
I've never seen a vehicle not used, and I think that we put more miles on them than you would expect as well. Because we're a pretty big district, and they do drive quite frequently. That box truck has a ton of miles on it, I know that.
So, guesstimate, 20,000 miles a year?
It's easy, if not more.
Okay,
And
so
even with the new-
20 to 25?
Yeah, and with the new, if they are gonna tow with the new league, they'll be traveling farther to some of our league games
That is true.
as well.
So it's certainly something to look at. I know I had given you the guy's name over there on Menor Avenue. Do you still have that?
Yes.
Okay. You want to give him a call, because he said he's willing to help out. I think he's a Riverside alum.
Right.
And he, you know, whatever their price is, he's willing to make it as low as possible to help us out. It's a used car over by Jay's.
It's a classic. Yeah, it's, the strain we came under was we're trying to keep the vehicles 25, 30,000 miles. We didn't want to get into a 60, 70, 80,000 mile vehicle used because you don't know what you're getting
Yeah,
yourself
right.
into.
Right, well, right, 25 or 30, or at least something close to that with a maintenance schedule.
Correct, yes.
You know.
So you're looking for a regular cab, crew cab, extended cab?
Regular cab is fine. It's going to be a
Seats.
seats.
Okay.
It could have crank windows. They might not know how to do that, but we can train them.
Okay. Well, I guess just kind of see what's out there and what's available, and then we can decide from there.
I do know we have also parents in the district that are at Junction Auto as well. They were the ones helping us out
Okay, yeah.
originally with the pricing on new.
So Graham, so let's look at our options and
Okay.
and see what our best purchase would be. And I think we need one vehicle, or short one vehicle, the way I look at it now.
Have you ever looked into leasing?
No.
No.
The only way you can do that is lease to buy. I mean, it's another form of purchase, right? Because there's no way with the miles.
We get eaten up by the miles, yeah.
Yeah, usually that's 12 to
You drive that
15,000.
much?
We're 60 some square miles, so you're driving farther than that.
I bet you that box truck puts at least a couple hundred miles a day when he's got, when he's
Every building.
when he's at every building 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah. The maintenance is over, and it'd be housed over in Concord.
Could we buy drones? Just fly it.
Why don't we just
You gotta get out of the box.
Why don't we
Rich.
just get some robots with some arms too? And
Yes, replace you.
all right,
And me.
Okay.
Now we're-
AI will replace me, a robot replace you.
With AI, how many people in the room do we now need?
all of them to make sure what you're seeing is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Okay.
So we'll get some prices and bring them back.
Yes, we will.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
Should we include plow package as well?
What do you think about the
Yes.
plow?
Okay.
The plows are useful in between snow, because when the piles start creeping
Yeah.
and and it starts to choke down our,
Oh, yeah.
our aprons and stuff, our
Yeah.
drives, we can get in there and push them. We don't
Right.
have to do additional charges or call them up and say,
Right.
it's things we can handle.
No, absolutely, yeah. And there's always creep once it starts to melt and snow again. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks.